Hello everyone, today is May 22nd. It is day 594 of the war between Israel and Hamas, and we currently have 58 hostages in Gaza. I want to show you guys our main articles for today. Here it says, התנגשות חוזרת, a repeated collision about Bibi Netanyahu and the Ronen Bar sort of controversy with the High Court. A lot to get into there. Then we have another article here about the wives of the hostages. Adain mechakot lahem, still waiting for them. Let's get into all the news. I want to start this next portion by actually with a reminder. We come to you guys and we report the news all the time, and we report people's opinions, reporters' opinions, Yediyot Achronot's opinions, but it's important for us, first and foremost, that whatever you hear about Bibi Netanyahu, different leaders, this is first and foremost, as people of faith, a cause for prayer. So as we report the news, I want you guys to remember this. It says here, Netanyahu neged hayoamashit, Netanyahu against the advice of the High Court. And it says here, Hamemshala temaneh rosh Shabak, the government will appoint the head of the Shabak, the head of the general security. If you guys remember, Ronen Bar was sort of, you could say, forced out of his position. Bibi Netanyahu wanted to fire him. Eventually, Ronen Bar left on his own. And now they are saying, basically, the High Court is saying that it was actually illegal, that they were not allowed to do that. And the reason for that is because this is sort of in the shadow, or because of the Qatar Gate affair. And for that reason, they're saying that they had a conflict of interest, and so for that reason, it was not actually legal. So you can see in this picture a very, if you can say, displeased Bibi Netanyahu, and there's a really, power struggle right now between what the government is allowed to do, or what they feel they are allowed to do, and what the High Court of Justice says that they're allowed to do. And so right now it's basically under debate of whether or not he should have been fired, and what they can even do, going further. Another thing that happened is that yesterday there was a press conference in which Bibi Netanyahu said some things that really upset a lot of people. In this press conference, he was sort of asked pinpointed questions about whether or not he knew the condition of the hostages, and because there's been a lot of distrust of the families of the hostages towards Bibi Netanyahu, this next sentence he said sort of, brought everything even more towards that point for them. And he said that there were basically, that nothing happened in Ein HaShlosha on the 7th of October, which in reality there were actually 4 that were murdered in Ein HaShlosha. He also sort of expressed that Hamas came, some of them in their flip-flops, with, not a lot of weapons, and people were very, very quick to sort of push back on that, and they didn't understand sort of why he was saying that. So a lot of people claim that he was saying that to minimize his potential or alleged involvement with the money going through Qatar that funded the ammunition basically that Hamas used on the 7th of October. So it's a lot for people to deal with as a people in the country. But the reason I started this whole part with asking you guys to pray is that we have to understand that these are human beings that are affected by the hand of God as well. There's verses that talk about this, the fact that the heart of a king is like water in the hand of God. And so we need to remember this when we see our leaders, and we might agree with them, we might not, but the most effective thing that we can do, as a team, apart from reporting the news to you, is to pray, and we're asking you guys to pray with us. And now let's talk about the wives of the hostages. As we said before, there are still 58 hostages in Gaza, and a lot of their wives, are getting a lot of attention now because they're literally the ones still at the forefront of fighting for their husbands to return home. Here it says, "Hayeladim mitorerim betzrachot balayla." The children are waking up with screaming at night. Pochadim she'aba yachzor met. They're afraid that Abba is going to come back dead. He's going to be returned not alive. These are from right to left. This is Rivka Buchbut. We've reported about Rivka Buchbut, who lives here in the city in which we're reporting from. A lot of propaganda videos have come out about her husband, and they're even using their son as sort of a tool of manipulation, which is horrendous. In the middle, you have Lishai Miran Levi, and then you have Sharon Cunio. I want to show you guys the pictures so that you can get an idea. If you are a parent, I just want you to imagine for a second, if you not only had to deal with the fact that your spouse is in Gaza, but the fact that your child doesn't have a father. A lot of these children were literally toddlers in diapers when they were kidnapped themselves, or their father was taken, and now they are much older and able to speak and communicate, and yet they do not have their father at home. Here you can see in this picture Roni and Alma Miran celebrating a second birthday. It says here, Lishai says, one day I found them basically hiding underneath the table in the room. Roni said to me, shh, and told Alma, we're going to hide here so that the bad people won't see us. No child on earth should have to say a sentence like that. It's horrendous. Here you can see Emma and Yuli Cunio, sweet little twin girls. And Sharon, their mother, says, there is a period of time in which Yuli said that she doesn't think that Abba is coming back because he doesn't love her, or doesn't love her anymore. Now we're sort of transferred to fears. She says, I'm afraid that Abba will come back dead, that he won't come back alive. And then here you have Rivka and Re'em. Re'em is her son, Rivka and Re'em Buchbut. Rivka says, Re'em doesn't sleep alone. He always sleeps with me. He's afraid that someone bad is going to come inside the house. At his kindergarten, he goes inside the tent and says, Hatzilu ani be'aza. He says, save me, I am in Gaza. I don't know how much Re'em has seen the propaganda videos of his father, but the whole world has seen his son through the poster that Hamas displayed sort of on the wall of the tunnel. And in the last propaganda video that Hamas put out of Elkanah Buchbut, you could literally see him not crying out in desperation, asking to be saved, but he was sort of lying down, and then another hostage was trying to tell the world about his horrible condition. And it says here, Rivka Buchbut said that when she saw it, she literally just broke down. I actually, and you guys can follow her as well, if you follow Rebecca Buchbut on social media, you will see that this woman is a very, very, very strong woman that takes care of herself and takes care of her son, and she is not backing down and she's not giving up. And the same goes to Lishai and Sharon Cunio. And so again, if you are a praying person, pray for them, because the desperation, the helplessness and the hopelessness is something that most people will never understand, and we hope they never will. But let's hope that their children will be able to say, Dad did come back home alive. And now for our good news. I don't know how much a lot of people watch the Eurovision. I know we have a lot of viewers from the East Asia, we have a lot of viewers from America, but if you are European, you know about the Eurovision. For those of you guys that don't know, the Eurovision is basically a singing competition. The reason why Israel is part of the Eurovision isn't because we are a part of Europe, we are a part of Asia, but it has to do with the television broadcasting sort of international network in which Israel is a part of. So for that reason, we are part of the Eurovision. We had our representative Yuval Raphael. I want to tell you guys something about Yuval Raphael that a lot of people probably didn't even know about her. She is a Nova Festival survivor. She was one of the festival goers that ran from the festival, and she hid inside a protective shelter in which there were at least 50 people there, and I think only about 11 survived. And the only reason she survived is because she played dead. That was one, but she also covered herself with the dead bodies of the people around her. That is quite literally the only reason she survived and was able to, with her magnificent voice, represent us at the Eurovision. And they're talking here about what happened behind the scenes, about the insecurity that she had when she had a breaking in her voice, and the press really went with it and attacked her really hard. About the two people that tried to storm the stage with red paint. They're pro-Palestinians, and the security guards were able to, apprehend them. But that really sort of, caused them to be very afraid. The Israeli delegation, they took them out of the green room temporarily and then brought them back. And so there was a lot there that could have come up against them, and a lot did. There was also a lot of protest outside of the Eurovision contest in different places. But Yuval Raphael is a fighter, and she's strong. And actually, when you looked at the votes, all of Europe basically loved and voted for Israel, for Yuval Raphael. A lot of people said, after that wasn't fair, that it must have been rigged. And yet the Eurovision said, hands down, no, it is not rigged. This is what Europe had chosen. And a lot of people also say that the reason that a lot of the judges didn't go with Yuval Raphael with the other winner, because she came up second place, is because they didn't want to deal with the fact that whoever wins the competition also has to host it. And so they did not want to host Eurovision in Israel, which we can understand, but anti-Semitism definitely has a play in there. But we still think that Yuval Raphael is a winner. So thank you to Yuval Raphael, and thank you to you guys. We appreciate you. Let us know where you are watching from. As always, if you want more Israel-related content, go to allisraelnews.com, hit the notification bell, hit subscribe, and we'll see you guys in the next one.